So I want you to just take a second and picture your most valuable business assets right now.
Yeah, just visualize them.
Right, because if we were having this conversation, a decade ago, you'd probably be picturing like a fleet of tractors or a massive factory floor or just warehouses packed with physical inventory.
Exactly, things you could actually reach out and touch.
But today, I mean, if you're building a modern business, your biggest assets are probably completely invisible. You're looking at things like a cryptocurrency portfolio or, proprietary software code.
Or even custom-trained AI models.
Right. And the problem we're seeing, and this is wild, is that while the very nature of wealth has fundamentally changed, the way people protect it, well, it hasn't changed at all.
Not even a little bit. It's a huge disconnect.
Yeah. We are basically trying to secure, 21st century digital wealth with 19th century legal templates.
Which is just a recipe for disaster.
It really is.
Dude.
And so that's our mission for today's deep dive. We're going to unpack this concept of the modern asset protection fortress.
I love that term.
Right. It's a great visual. We're focusing specifically on the massive positive advantages of setting up a trust in South Africa, but one built for modern digital businesses.
Yeah, we're pulling from a really comprehensive newsletter on trust for the digital economy today.
And we're pairing that with the practical frameworks from Lumka Sturman, who is a premier South African trust consultant. So, okay, let's unpack this because I'm so excited to show you how the wealthy actually protect their digital empires and, how everyday business owners can do the exact same thing.
It's totally achievable. But before we get into the fortress itself, we really need to define what's actually at risk here.
Yeah, why did the old plans fail so spectacularly today?
Well, it comes down to the core differences of digital assets. They are characterized by intangibility, obviously, but also extreme technical complexity and rapid evolution.
And decentralization.
Exactly. Decentralization is huge.
Yeah.
There's this really cautionary tale in the sources about a Johannesburg fintech founder, Mr. Nlavu.
Oh, yeah, the fintech guy.
Right. So he built this incredibly successful business. He had about R8 million in crypto held as treasury reserves.
Wow.
And on top of that, proprietary trading algorithms worth an estimated R15 million.
So serious, serious money.
Very serious. And he did what any responsible founder does, He went to a traditional attorney for his succession planning.
Which sounds like the right move.
It sounds right, but that attorney just pulled out a standard boilerplate trust template.
Like the ones used for a family farm or something.
Precisely. Those templates are fine for a house or regular company shares, but they completely failed Mr. Nlavu. I mean, the documentation didn't even mention private key custody.
Just totally ignored it.
Totally. And it completely ignored who actually held the copyright to his algorithm.
Which is the whole value of the business.
Right. And furthermore, it didn't factor in data protection obligations.
No.
Like under POPIA, the Protection of Personal Information Act here in South Africa.
Oh, man, POPIA compliance is no joke.
It's really not. If a traditional trustee suddenly inherits a database of, say, 50,000 users without a compliant legal framework, they could be held personally liable for massive regulatory fines.
So the trust actually becomes a liability.
Exactly. And what's fascinating here is that the very things that make digital assets valuable, the decentralization, the encryption, self-custody, they are the exact things that make them a nightmare to pass on to your heirs.
If you don't have specialized planning, yeah.
Right. You know that staggering global statistic? The global crypto community estimates that roughly 20% of all the Bitcoin in the world is just permanently lost.
20%. That's hundreds of billions of dollars.
Gone forever. And largely because of lost keys or holders passing away without a technical succession plan.
I mean, it's like buying a state-of-the-art biometric vault, but accidentally locking yourself inside and swallowing the key.
That is a perfect analogy.
But so how do we actually fix this technical dependency? Because traditional templates clearly fail.
Well, this is where we transition to the actual solution. Experts like Lumka Sturman advocate for a very specific philosophy, which is separating ownership from risk.
Separating ownership from risk.
Yeah. The core mechanism is this: your trust owns the assets, but your company carries the risk.
Oh, I see. So you maintain control, but you don't have the personal exposure.
Exactly. Let's look at the creditor protection example from the sources. There's a case of a Mr. Pillay. He had a software business that faced a massive creditor claim.
Basically going bankrupt.
Right. But because he had transferred his intellectual property and his crypto to a properly structured trust 3 years prior.
Ah, the timing is key there. 3 years prior.
Yes, very important. It was operating with independent trustees. It had genuine separation. So when the creditors came knocking, they couldn't touch the IP or the crypto.
Wow. So I like to think of this like building a castle. Your business is the castle, right?
Yeah.
And you keep your gold in a heavily guarded mountain vault, which is the trust.
That's a great way to picture it.
Yeah, so if the castle gets besieged by a lawsuit or creditors, the gold is miles away. It's completely safe.
Exactly. And this defense works for personal risks too. Look at Mr. Nkosi's divorce case in our sources.
Right. The divorce example, that was intense.
It's very. His wife's attorneys aggressively targeted his crypto and software IP during the split.
Naturally.
But the trust had been established 20 years earlier by his father, and it had independent trustees with genuine discretion.
So what did the court say?
The court ruled the trust was completely separate from the marital estate. The ex-wife's attorneys couldn't touch it.
That is incredible. But if we connect this to the bigger picture, this only works if it's a genuine arrangement, right?
Oh, absolutely. This is critical. If you treat the trust like your personal piggy bank, just moving money in and out whenever you want,
Yeah.
a South African court will absolutely pierce that trust veil.
They'll see right through it.
Yes. They call it an alter ego trust. And if they pierce it, you are completely exposed to creditors again. It highlights the absolute necessity of doing it right from day one.
You can't fake it.
No, you really can't.
Okay, so that's the defense side of the fortress. Let's move from defense to offense. Optimization. How does a trust actually put more money back into your pocket?
Well, this brings us to the massive tax benefit.
Yeah, let's look at the crypto tax example first. Mr. Delamony.
Right. So Mr. Delamony's trust realized a R5 million capital gain on crypto.
Which is a great problem to have, but still a problem.
A huge tax problem. If he just retained that gain inside the trust, he'd be looking at a 36% effective tax rate.
So what is that, like R1.8 million?
Exactly. R1.8 million straight to SARS. But by strategically distributing those gains to his wife and his children, who are in much lower tax brackets,
Through the trust structure.
yes, using the conduit principle, the total tax dropped to just R980,000.
Wait, so proper planning saved him R820,000.
Legally and compliantly, yes.
That is massive. And there was another example with intellectual property, too. The Naidu family.
Yes, the Naidus. They originally held their software IP inside their company. Now, a company faces a combined effective tax rate of around 40% on that kind of extraction.
Ouch.
Yeah. So they transferred the IP to a family trust. The trust then licenses the software back to the company.
At an arm's length royalty rate, right?
Exactly. It has to be a fair market rate. The company pays the royalty, which is a deductible expense. The trust receives it and distributes that income to lower bracket family members.
And what did that do to their tax rate?
It dropped their effective family tax rate from 40% down to just 25%.
That is brilliant. But here's where it gets really interesting for me, and I have to ask, isn't this kind of, aggressive tax dodging?
I get why you'd ask that. It raises an important question, but no, absolutely not.
Okay.
This is entirely legal, SARS-compliant strategic structuring. It's about utilizing the legal frameworks correctly,
Right.
which is exactly why SARS expects comprehensive records. They want to see every crypto transaction. They require proper independent IP valuations for those royalties.
So you can't just make up a number and say your software is worth R1,000,000 a month.
Definitely not. You will get audited and penalized. It has to be real.
Got it. And the sources also discuss these multi-generational digital trusts, like the Fernandez family.
Yes, this is where it gets really futuristic.
Yeah, they account for assets that don't even exist yet.
Right, because tech moves so fast, you can't just list Bitcoin in your trust deed and call it a day.
You have to use broad terms.
Exactly. Things like technology-related assets or digital IP. The Fernandez family structured theirs to capture AI models or protocols that might be invented a decade from now.
That's incredible foresight. So knowing the benefits is one thing,
Yeah.
but execution is everything.
Execution is the whole game.
Yeah, because you cannot just download a PDF off the internet to manage AI models and crypto wallets. I mean, you need an architect.
You really do. And that is where someone like Lumka Sturman comes in.
Right, the South African trust consultant we mentioned earlier.
Exactly. She is an asset protection specialist who specifically helps small to medium business owners. We're talking businesses with R1 million to R50 million in turnover.
So everyday successful founders.
Right. She helps them build these exact fortresses. And one of the biggest things she tackles is the single points of failure mistake.
Oh, like having one key holder.
Yes. If you have one password or one seed phrase and that person gets hit by a bus,
Catastrophic risk.
total loss. So Lumka implements things like multi-signature setups. She doesn't just draft a document, she provides a completely holistic approach.
Yeah, the sources detailed her specific packages, which I think shows how practical this really is.
Definitely. It starts with the foundation audit.
Where she analyzes personal versus business exposure, right?
Exactly, figuring out where the leaks are. Then she moves to the asset protection blueprint session.
Which is mapping the asset flow and making sure everything is SARS compliant.
Right. And then, crucially, the annual maintenance, or what she calls fortress checkups.
Because the rules keep changing.
Constantly. I mean, look at 2022, when the FSCA, the Financial Sector Conduct Authority, declared crypto a financial product in South Africa.
Right, that changed everything overnight.
It did. If you aren't doing annual maintenance, your structure becomes obsolete and non-compliant really quickly.
You know, it reminds me of surgery. You wouldn't perform your own surgery, so you really shouldn't try to draft your own multi-signature crypto trust deed.
Please don't try to draft your own trust deed.
Right. Working with someone like Lumka takes all the anxiety out of the process. She translates all that complex legal jargon into an actual actionable shield for your family.
And honestly, the biggest risk here isn't getting the paperwork wrong, it's procrastination.
Just putting it off.
Yeah. The best time to implement digital asset planning was when you acquired the assets. But the second best time is right now.
Absolutely. So, to briefly recap the massive value of a modern trust in South Africa, it separates your hard-earned digital assets from your business risk.
It legally slashes your tax burden.
Yes, and it ensures your family isn't just locked out of your crypto or software IP if something happens to you.
That peace of mind is invaluable.
So if you are listening to this right now and you are generating income and building assets in your personal name, you are exposed. It is that simple.
Highly exposed.
To start building your own asset protection fortress, you really should visit Lumka's website. It's www.lumkasturman.com.
That's right.
Head over there to join her exclusive waitlist or just book a consultation. Again, that's lumkasturman.com.
It is definitely worth your time.
Yeah. So we're going to leave you with this final thought to chew on today. Think about your single most valuable digital asset right now.
Got it in your head.
Good. If you couldn't log into your computer tomorrow, how long would it take for that asset to vanish entirely?
A scary thought.
It really is. Your wealth is only as real as your plan to protect it. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.